Hey guys, it's Nimbus. I am back today with another video. As always, it is free Palestine, free Sudan, free the Democratic Republic of Congo, free everybody. We will never be free until we are all free. Free Tigray, free Haiti, free Afghanistan, free Kurdistan, free the Uyghurs in China, the Uyghur Muslims, free everybody. There is so much still happening. Sudan, I mean, Sky News, go to Sky News on Instagram. If you have Instagram, I'm sure they're on Twitter and TikTok as well, I'm sure, but they finally have somebody on the ground in Sudan to show what's going on. And it hasn't been fun to watch, let's just say that. But it's very good to have the information, because then we know what is actually going on. We can finally actually see through the media blackout, or in the telecom blackout that they've been under for over a week. Parts of it was restored when they got a like a temporary broadcasting system up, but it was only to like a small number of places. So the majority of Sudan is still under telecom blackout. And with these countries that are going through these things, I want you guys to understand that if you guys have seen any disaster movie like 2012 or anything like that, where there's just a disaster that happens, it's not horror, it's not anything crazy, it's the world ends. You know what I mean? Nobody knows where anybody is. Nobody knows where their family is. Nobody knows where their kids are. They can't communicate with each other. Everybody's running around panicked. There's no food, nothing in the stores, like no water, no electricity. Like, this is the disaster movie. These are the disaster movies that are happening. And as we speak, Russia is talking about an accidental nuclear war. So, like, I just need y'all to understand that all of this is happening today. We're lucky that we're not living in this. But it's only a matter of time with the cop cities going up in the U.S. It's only a matter of time where this shit gets everywhere, all over the West as well. We cannot let this nuclear threat of World War III happen. We're already seeing genocide after slavery, after ethnic cleansing, after whatever else. And this is all shit that we learned in school that was not going to happen again, because there's preventions against this. And while we were in school learning that, all of this was going on. I remember in 7th or 8th grade, over 10 years ago, we were learning about Darfur. We were learning about the genocide going on in Darfur. That was like the first exposure I got to this. And then when people started talking about Sudan again, I was like, I learned about this 10 years ago. Isn't this over? No, of course it's not over. Nobody stopped it. Now you have two different, like, parties, I guess, trying to take control of the government, and neither of them care about the people. Or at least from what it seems. I'm sure there's one side that cares about some people. But we see the same stuff going on all over the world. And if you guys are still not seeing it, again, you're purposely not looking at it. You're purposely ignoring it. You're purposely deciding that you don't need to be involved because it's not your problem. Whole time, people are dying, getting bombed and sniped, waving white flags. or going into a hospital. Again, in these places, food is scarce. If there is any food that you can find, you can't really buy anything because there's no way to pay for anything. It's time to wake up. Period. It's time. We've seen so much in the past 4 months than any of us need to see in our entire lives. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, boo-hoo, but I need you to understand, how do you think it feels when you can't turn your phone off and you can't swipe away from it? These people are watching it. These people can't escape it. And we have people running around in the West saying it doesn't affect me. I'm not part of this. Your tax dollars, bro. They're your tax dollars. They're my tax dollars. They're her tax dollars. They're his tax dollars. They're their tax dollars. You should be upset about this. You should be upset when a genocide is taking place, because it could easily be you. When the country that's supplying all of the money and all of the weapons, slash the majority of it, whatever, what do you think they could do to you if they put their minds to it? This country has already started going way down the hill. We've seen the fascism coming. And if you didn't, you're late. It's not coming because it's here. It's already here. That's why we can't, that's why our government doesn't speak for us. That's why they're so corrupt. That's why AIPAC is a thing, and getting all of the politicians to listen to them, only them. Wake up. Even if your research is on Google, do some research. You will find some good information. And if you're uncomfortable, embrace that, because growth will never happen when you're comfortable. If you're uncomfortable, that means you notice that's there's something wrong, at the least, at the very least. And the people who are, like, say, older people who I don't want to hear about it, those whatever are gonna whatever. And it's like, it doesn't matter. But the more you make them uncomfortable, the more willing they're gonna be to actually get it. Or they're gonna fight with you the entire time, which either way, honestly, truthfully, if you can have the patience for it, like, say it's your grandfather or your grandma or somebody who just won't get it. Like, they're rooting for this genocide to keep going. You know what I mean? One day, if you have the patience to sit with them and not really argue about it, but like really like lay down some facts, I'm sure they'll at least listen to you on some level. And some people won't. There are plenty of people who will not. But at this point, we have to keep the faith that some people are going to listen and change their minds. It's not going to be everybody. Like, I'm aware of that. But there will be people who are willing to change their minds. That's always the thing. It's always a matter of education. And then after the education, it's a matter of arrogance and ignorance. Willful ignorance at that point, because you know what's going on. You have the facts. But if you don't know better, you can't do better, right? So once you know better, you start doing better because you know better. At least in theory. And if you don't, you're a piece of shit. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Anyway, with all of that being said, please do your own research. Find people who find the voices of the people and uplift those voices. I'm glad to get information out there, and I hope people listen to me. But my goal isn't to be the voice of these people. My goal is to help these people and uplift their voices. What have they been saying that we should be doing? What have they been talking about? What are the focuses that they've been having on these things? There's always going to be a different take on it because you're not in the same position. You can't talk about something if you've never experienced it. I just know that genocide is bad. I know that slavery is bad. I know that ethnic cleansing is bad. There are people who have many more details than I do. But I'm doing what I can to get the information out there, and that's what you should be doing too. Getting information out there is not the bare minimum. There can always be more that you can do, but if you can't donate, like if you don't have the money to donate, nobody's mad at you if all you're doing is talking about it. I am just talking about really what I'm seeing every day that I know shouldn't be happening. Like, we all know genocide is wrong. We all know that. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to say every time something is wrong, or like if you're going to sit there and see every time that something is wrong, why not sit there and say something too? Like, why not speak up? If you can recognize that it's wrong, why can't you talk about it and say something? So, I grew up celebrating Hanukkah, going to temple, as well, you know, other stuff, but as well as going to church and celebrating Christmas and celebrating, you know, Easter and all that stuff. So, you know, it's been a little bit difficult for me specifically because I did, as a kid, want to go to Israel. I didn't know about all this stuff. And I did want to go to Israel, but at the same time, something always felt off about it. Something was always just weird. Like, why are they so ready to take people in? What's like the catch, you know? And in my head, when I was younger, whenever anybody would start talking about Israel, I would just be like, can we like just not, because I know where this is going, and you're going to start talking about the terrorists who are trying to get you. Y'all are worried about children who live in Palestine. That's what y'all are worried about. I understand that Jews were not accepted in many different places around the world. I get that. But again, a genocide or a prospective genocide doesn't mean you go and commit genocide against the people who you say are trying to commit a genocide against you. When you go in and occupy a state, you can't tell somebody how to respond to you. Like, if you are sitting there smacking somebody around, and you are just smacking them around, you not stopping, how are you going to be mad at them for smacking you back? I'm genuinely asking you. Because I know people would be. How dare they get me back? Oh my God. But 70 plus years of that. Hello, like, I have so many Jewish friends who argue and argue and argue about how it's not the same, and it's a totally different thing, and it's not genocide, this is rightful, you know, taking of land, they're taking their land back. But again, how are you indigenous when you came from Europe, when you came from the United States? When you literally live in suburban California. You are not indigenous of Israel. And you're definitely not from the Middle East. It just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. So many people who I grew up with, who know me, who know that I grew up Jewish, are now calling me anti-Semite, are now calling me, you know, a self-hating Jew. I'm not even Jewish anymore. They call me a self-hating Jew. They call me all this stuff. And I'm like, I get it, except you're going to be so pissed when I call you Zionist. And I don't say Jewish. You're going to be very mad at me when I call you a Zionist and not a Jew. Because if you would even look at the Torah, this is the same thing with Bible thumpers. If you would look at the word that is written down, you'd see that what you are saying is completely wrong. It does not align with the religion or the written text of your religion at all. I don't care who you are. It does not align. Anyway, I am going to get started because I've been talking for 20 minutes. I do apologize. I am going to get this incense going really quick. Alright guys, so today we're going to use the Tarot of Trees, our pride message, and our sweary affirmation as well. So yeah, so if you guys would like to breathe with me, let's get started. Otherwise, you can skip ahead to right here. And yeah, if you guys would like to breathe with me, go ahead and put your hands flat down on the table in front of you or flat down in your lap. Go ahead and sit straight up. And we are going to breathe, put your feet flat down on the floor also as well. And we are going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, about a count of 4. And we are not going to hold it or anything. We're just going to breathe in and out. Breathe however you feel you need to breathe. If you need to breathe slower, breathe faster, you can do whatever you need to do. But yeah, I just like breathing like this because it gets me, it's like a simple little thing to get me exactly to where I need to go. So hopefully it's helpful for you guys as well. But yeah, go ahead. If you guys are ready, go ahead and close your eyes and we are going to get started. Breathe in and out. In, 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 last one. And out. Go ahead and keep your eyes closed and breathe normally. Release any tension that you may have from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. I usually just do some neck rolls, both directions. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know if you guys heard that. That was nice. There we go. And I usually do some shoulder rolls, backwards and forwards. Switch. Switch. Shake out my arms a little bit. This is just usually what I normally do, just to relax. Honestly, release the tension, you know, shake it all out. Do the same thing with your legs if you can, if you got space. Cool. Go ahead and take one more deep breath in and out. Alright. Go ahead and open your eyes slowly and breathe normally. Alright guys, if you guys need more time, go ahead and pause it now. Otherwise, we are going to get started. But yeah, so like I said, today we're going to use the tarot trees. Today is February 15th while I'm filming this. So yeah, so today we are going to do, the question is, where do I go from here? Or where do you go from here? Sorry. Well, but anyway, nowhere to go but up. Spirit, what's our message for today, for February 15th? He's always listening. Spirit. Okay. Oof. First card is the Tower. This is not a bad card. Okay? This is not an evil thing. This is nothing. It could be a setback, but it's not negative. Okay? I need y'all to understand this. It's not a negative card. This is about breaking through what you had already set up, because it does not fit anymore. It does not work for you anymore. It's not about spirit toppling over your life because big changes are necessary. This is, you have to do something different. This is, it has to change soon, and if you're not going to do it, we're going to make it happen. Spirit's going to make it happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Ten of Swords. There's too many things that you're trying to deal with, and you can't, like, there's no way to get a hold of all of them. There's just no way. And it's like, I think it seems like this is something, which is why it's to the tarot moment. It seems like this is something that you've been asked to figure out a couple of times already. We got the Seven of Wands. Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely this feeling of like, there's like a lot of ego coming through. And with that ego coming in, it could be causing a lot of anxiety because you're trying to stay safe, you're trying to stay comfortable, you're trying to stay, you know, grounded, and everything's trying to uproot everything. And it's like, yes, but the point is to learn how to stay grounded in those moments. You know what I mean? Like, you can't expect everything to just be perfect, all sunshine and rainbows every single time we do anything. You know what I mean? It's gotta be... There's always something to change. The world reversed. And sometimes that change has to happen before we receive exactly what we want. Like, really. That change is like a non-negotiable thing that has to happen before we receive those things. Now, say you want your soul family to come in, but you still have people in your life who are very toxic, who you know are very toxic, who you refuse to get rid of. And like, Spirit wants to remind you, like, you're gonna have to get rid of the people who don't serve anything for your higher good anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if they can't grow with you, they don't deserve to be around you when you do grow. You know what I mean? And that's why finding friends now is so hard, probably because you've grown enough to where finding new friends just seems like a tedious thing, because everybody's just gonna be like that. And it's like, no, you gotta like actually do something to try. I mean, if you want to find new people, if you don't, that's fine. You can go through life being alone. That wasn't supposed to be a jab, I'm sorry. That was like actually to be like real. Like, you can do whatever you want. You're allowed to do whatever you want. But there's also, like, you have to do, if you want the success and you want the fulfillment, changes like this are necessary, because the fulfillment and like actual success won't happen until you're around people who are also trying to get to their highest good. Because if there's people around you who don't care about getting to their highest good, that's gonna rub off on you at some point or on some level, and it's gonna be that you don't want to do much today. You don't want to do anything right now. You don't want to, it's been a long day at work, whatever it is. Like, the success and everything, one card at a time, please, Spirit. The success and everything, okay. The moon reversed. There's definitely introspection that needs to happen, because once we are able to actually do the work and get our ego back in check, a lot of this stuff will fall away, because our ego isn't there to stop the growth. Our ego isn't meant to stop our growth, but it always, I should say usually, a lot of the time, it prohibits our growth because it's trying to stay safe. It's trying to keep us where we know anything. You know what I mean? Like, if we go outside of our comfort zone, we don't know what's going to happen the second we step out that box. You know what I mean? But it's always about, a give and take. There's always some kind of question that needs to be answered or risk that needs to be taken regardless. Like, stepping outside of your house anyway is a risk. I mean, you know what I mean? With drunk drivers, anything is possible. You know what I mean? Are all of these supposed to be reversed? Okay. 5 of Pentacles reversed. With your ego in charge, it's really easy to step into chaos and disorder. You know what I mean? Because you end up that much more impulsive. You know what I mean? You end up like that much more not willing to talk about stuff or whatever it is. Even if something's embarrassing, like something could be plaguing you and you might not even want to talk about it just because it's embarrassing. And it's like, once you find people there are people who don't give a shit. You know what I mean? There are people out there who don't care. They love you and they care about you, but they don't care what's embarrassing and what's not, because they'd rather see that you're okay than laugh at you. You know what I mean? And that's why it's so important to, take stock of who's in your life, what's going on, how you feel around these people, because if there's any reason that you don't feel comfortable around these people, or that you don't like how you feel, or any number of things, it's because there's something wrong. And it's because on some level, they are not meant for you anymore. It's not to say that they're a terrible person or that they're just toxic, but sometimes we just grow away from people. Sometimes we just grow out of the need to be with them. Anyway, okay, the Queen of Wands reversed as well came out a little bit ago. That's the other thing too. Jealousy can always come up as well. That jealousy always comes up when somebody starts growing and getting past people and leveling up. There's always people who are like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing that or she's doing this or they're whatever. And it's like, what are they doing to you? What is anybody doing to you? Go out and grow. Go out and do something else. Why are you bitching about what other people are doing? Because I guarantee you, as they're growing, they're not even thinking about you. And I think I was talking about this in a couple videos ago about like competing with people, especially if the other person doesn't know that you're competing. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, why would you sit here and get jealous of somebody when all they're doing is leveling up? That shows where you're coming from more than me, because I'm leveling up and you're mad that I'm leveling up. Stay mad. Anyway. Hoes mad. 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 No, for real, like, that's my fucking slogan recently has just been stay mad. Like, you're mad at me trying to do better for myself. Like, that's not a me problem. That's a you problem. I'm leveling up. What are you doing? Like, you're sitting there bitching about the fact that I'm leveling up, and I'm leveling up. Like, I'm doing better and better each day. Like, that's the point. But people don't like seeing you do better because now you're doing better than them, and they take that as what you think you better than me. And it's like, no. You can literally do the same thing that I'm doing. Just do it. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, okay, damn. I think the Hierophant smacked me in the face last time too. Rude. The Hierophant reversed. Anyway, I guess it's important. To me, that means the people who compete with you and the people who are jealous of you, excuse me, word for confirmation, that could end up as a weakness for you because you're letting something that there's, if you let something happen, like if you let what they say get in your head or whatever, that could be detrimental. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that shows how much further ahead you are because you're willing to move past all of that lower vibrational energy. You know, we all know fear, anger, jealousy, those are all lower vibrational emotions. Joy, love, those kinds of emotions are all higher vibration. You know, we know that there are vibrations to these things. So when you let those negative thoughts play around and bump around and do what they do in your head, that's getting you to, even if it's just for 30 seconds, that's lowering your vibration into anxiety, into anger, into whatever it gets it to, into that trigger, and there's your weakness. You know what I mean? So if we grow and we pass the people, like if we totally like pass them and keep them out, you know what I mean? We've grown too far to let them come back. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. Because at this point, get the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? You said all the shit that you did. It is what it is. I'm not about to get anything back from it, but leave me alone. That's what that is. There's no reason why anything anymore. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how you went to therapy, did all these different things. I don't care. I'm glad. That's great. Good for you. Do what you do. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're doing better. But you're going to be doing better all the way over there. And you're not going to be back over here. Who knows what'll change in the future, maybe, whatever, but while I'm growing, while I'm doing what I need to do, I can't have you over here in my energy. You know what I mean? Got the Ace of Cups. Know your worth. Just know your worth. The universe will hand you stuff. They will hand you. I'm talking about minimal effort on your part. As long as you've done some work, the universe will gladly bless you if you know your worth. Whatever you want. It's going to start blooming tomorrow because you know exactly where your worth stands and how you need to approach people and whatever it is. Three of Swords. And triggers and stuff always is going to come back up. There's always going to be something that happens, but it's about how you respond to it. It's not about the fact that it happened or that you got upset because you got triggered. This is how do you respond to that trigger after you're already upset. 555 as I say that. How do you respond after you already got triggered? Do you just yell and scream? Do you try to take a breath and relax a little bit? Do you what is it? Because that will also help dictate what it is that you get blessed with. You know what I mean? There's always going to be stuff that happens. One card at a time, please, Spirit. There's always going to be stuff that happens. We're always going to feel triggered in some type of way. It's always going to happen. There's no question about that. But we can be prepared, and we can sit there and think like, okay, if this were to happen, I need to whatever. Take a step back and just start breathing. Whatever it is. One card at a time, please, Spirit. Whatever it is, because it's important to know. Yeah, Three of Cups. Community and everything coming in, the blessings that happen with people coming in who you maybe never even thought would be your friend. Like, that community is always so helpful, especially when you already know what it is that you need to do. The Hermit in reverse, you already did a lot of the shadow work. You already did the introspection. Now apply the information that you learned. You know what I mean? You learned a lot of stuff with that. Now apply that. When we sit there and get triggered, the reason why we go into hermit mode is to kind of like sit there and like understand what it is that we're doing and why it's not working for us. You know what I mean? We have to take the time by ourselves to really understand what is actually happening. How are we setting ourselves up for these things to happen? What is it that's actually the trigger in this situation? Whatever the questions may be. But, I mean, if you know your worth, like if you really, truly know your worth, those triggers, things will still hurt. You're not going to be invincible. You know what I mean? But you're not, one card at a time, please, Spirit. You're not just going to get hurt immediately. It's going to have to take some time and some tries to like actually try to get to you. It's like that whole thing of Like, you know what people are going to say, so you prepared in advance. You know, well, I call myself ugly every day, so you calling me ugly doesn't matter. Or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. The Six of Pentacles reverse just came out. And again, with the kind of jealous kind of energy. And if you're feeling jealous about somebody else's healing journey, because it could be you since jealousy came up a couple times already, if it is you, this is your sign to really get that in check, because that's probably why the Tower moment is happening. Jeez. Two of Pentacles reversed. And it could be that there was a choice that was made that just wasn't the right choice. And nobody's mad. Nobody's like trying to beat you down or anything, but the right way instead. Just because you're triggered doesn't mean that what just happened or what was said or whatever it is completely the truth. Okay. That makes more sense. And the Eight of Wands reversed is our last card for the day. Or, well, not for the day. And then the Seven of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. With the Eight of Wands, I wonder if it's like this internal back and forth with all this stuff. And it could be, because if you need to take more time in the hermit mode, it could just be that there's too much happening and you have to, like, shut up and sit with it and figure it out. You know what I mean? Because the Seven of Cups, you know, it's frolicking through a field. You know what I mean? But like, I think the most important thing to take away from this is that if you take time to yourself whenever you need it, the things that seem to be beating you down and really trying to get to you will seem a little less intense. Because you're taking the time to figure out maybe where this is coming from, why you're feeling some type of way, whatever it is, you're taking the time to understand it. I don't know if y'all just heard it, but there was a horn that just went. Yeah. Let's do our pride message really quick. Right. Okay. Cool. All right. So we have. I don't know if y'all seen Rocky Horror. Like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. What was it? And on the seventh day, God said, "Let there be lips." And then there were lips. Anyway, okay. Sorry. If y'all haven't seen it, that movie is really good. It's a cult classic, so you have to experience it correctly. You have to go to a theater that plays it whenever they do, and they have, some of them have like a live cast that goes around. It's really fun. It's usually a midnight showing, but it's really fun. It's, you know, people wear costumes, people dress up like the characters, people kind of just wear whatever also, you know. It's fun. It's like it's just an absurd movie, you know what I mean? It's a good movie though. It's a musical. It's from, I think it's from the 80s. Highly recommend. But yeah, we got some gay lips. It says openness. Just because it isn't talked about doesn't mean it isn't real. If you let yourself be open, you offer others a window to learn more about you. True. And then we have a gay flag. Anyway, bravery. Alright, we got bravery. Recognize and respect what you have achieved. This journey of self-discovery will continue to test your courage, so acknowledge the strength you have mustered thus far and keep pushing forward. Yeah. It's not easy to grow when everybody around you is doing the same shit they were doing 6 years ago. You know what I mean? It's not easy. But after a certain point, we get to a point where we're just tired of dealing with it and we don't want to do it anymore. And then we got queer AF on there. It says truth. Being true to who you are is the best gift you can give yourself. You don't need to live a life that has been dedicated to you by others. Sculpt a path that feels right for you. And that path can change, and it can change directions, it can go up and down, whatever you want it to do, it's your path. You're the only one who's going to be able to walk it the way that you do. And you're the only person who's going to be able to walk this path regardless. Your path is your path alone. Nobody else can do what you do. Nobody else can do what you do, how you do it. And you have to stand in your truth every day. Be as authentic as you can, because when I say this all the time, once you have that space for other people will see that you are being authentic with them. They will recognize that space for them to be authentic, and they will also open up that space for you to be authentic with them. I mean, they kind of entered your authenticity space, but like, you know what I mean? Like, authenticity, people like authenticity, and people are more willing to go out of their way for authenticity than somebody who's obviously faking some stuff. You know what I mean? Let's see our sweary affirmation really quick. Do this really quick. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we got 2 today. Not loving myself is total bullshit. Period. When the world says you can't, I say, fucking watch me. Beautiful. I think the most important thing to remember about all this is that the more you love yourself and the more that you give yourself the space to grow, the more you love yourself and the more you give yourself the space to grow, the more the tower moments and loss of people in your life don't feel as hectic. It's like that moment, like we've ignored taking off the bandage for so long that, you know, now it's just time to rip it off. But plus, once you really stand in your own power, like truly, like really sit there and actually stand in your own power and actually respect yourself enough to do that, a lot of these things will really fall into place for you. A lot of the things that we worry about, a lot of the things that we don't know how it's going to turn out, those thoughts is what stops us from doing those things. And then we don't experience those things because we think it's just not going to work. But now we lose out on something that we wanted to do. If you're getting to that point where it's just not working, it's just not working. There's not much else to do than remove yourself from the situation. It's not ideal, and it's not fun either, but over time it's better to not be dealing with that chaos and that toxicity and that negativity all the time when all you're trying to do is get better. It just does not help you to deal with all that. But yeah, that is all I am seeing for you guys today. I really appreciate you guys watching. I am going to close this reading right now. Yeah. But yeah, I really thank you guys for watching, and if you guys stayed this long, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Please let me know how I did, if it made sense. This was a collective reading, so as always, you know, not all of it is going to be exactly for you, so, you know. But yeah, if anything did make sense or resonated with you, let me know. If it didn't, also let me know. Just be nice. Free everybody. Keep talking about it. Don't quiet down. Do not quiet down. If anything, only get louder. And even if all you know about the situation is that Palestine is undergoing genocide, or Sudan is going through some insane wartime stuff, like, if that's all you know and you're out protesting, saying free Palestine, free Sudan, free everybody, good on you. Because, I mean, the least we can do is recognize when human atrocities are taking place and literal war crimes. Like, I think at the very least we should be able to see those. You know what I mean? Even without the information of what's going on. It's not hard to see that Israel trapped everybody in Rafah and is now bombing them. It's not hard to see that. It's not hard to see that Israel kept bombing hospitals and went into a hospital dressed as hospital staff to kill people in a hospital. It's not hard. You don't need the history of the situation to understand that that is wrong. Free Palestine. Free everybody. We will never be free until we are all free. Period. Free the Democratic Republic of Congo. Free Sudan. Free Tigray. Sorry. Free everybody. Yeah. If you guys would like to tip me, please take that money, donate it, join me in donating to... If you guys were going to tip me today, please take that money and join me in donating to places that are going to help the people on the ground. I'm not going to tell you where to donate. You need to do research and find where you want to donate it to. Just please take that money, take whatever money you can and donate it. If you were going to tip me, or if you would like to, just join me in donating, because stuff needs to change with all this stuff. And whatever we can do is what we should be doing. Nobody's asking us to do every single thing possible. But we have to make sure that we are doing the most that we can do. With that being said, I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Have the day that y'all deserve. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.